All right, we're live in 10.
Doing it! Folks, thank you for coming to our Kids in Comedy Saturday graduation show. Give yourselves a round of applause wherever you are. My name is Nick Maritato. I am the host for today's graduation show. I am also the guy that was the instructor for this session, the teacher, the joke helper, whatever you want to call me. That was me. Me and my staff helped these kids create 4 minutes of stand-up comedy, each and every one of them. They came here to our virtual classroom, and in the last 8 weeks, they came up with a whole bunch of jokes based completely on their own ideas. And what we did as a staff is kind of help them mold it into stuff that sounds more like stand-up comedy. That's what we do here. We help kids become stand-up comedians, and we have a bunch of hilarious stand-up comedians for our show today. So what I'd like you to do, give a round of applause for these kids you're about to see. We can hear you out there. It's a lot of fun. Let me speak to y'all before we get to this fantastic show. Something occurred to me very recently that we're going to have to actually see other humans pretty soon. And so we're going to have to actually like care about what we look like. That occurred to me like a half hour ago. I am vaccinated. I am planning on seeing other people eventually. So I'm trying to lose some weight, you know? And I'm a comedian, so my goals are a little different than like normal weight loss goals. Like I want to be skinny enough to call myself fat in a public place such as this and not have everyone feel bad for me. But I want to be fat enough to call someone else fat in that same public place such as this and not have everyone be mad at me, okay? So it's a delicate balance for a comedian like myself. You know, I'm working on it. I moved last year from New York to New Jersey. And I gotta say, I don't know what it is, but I am way less fat in New Jersey than I was in New York. I don't know what it is. I personally didn't lose any weight, but I just feel like a pretty skinny dude walking around New Jersey. I used to live in Brooklyn, in Bushwick, Brooklyn, off the L train. That is the skinniest train in New York City. That train is exclusively for emaciated models and skinny bass players. You know what I mean? That's it. So my weight loss goal used to be not to be the fattest guy on the L train, okay? And I wasn't doing it through hard work. I was doing it through picking the correct car to get on. You know, you have to be pretty diligent when choosing which car to get on. You know, yeah, not this one, not that one. Oh, wait a minute. A fat guy wearing shorts in the dead of winter, sweating while eating a burrito. Looks like I found my car. And then I'd go stand next to that guy and get all the ladies, because that's how it works. Because it's really about perspective, isn't it? You know, maybe you don't have to diet or exercise. Maybe all you have to do is hang out at fatter places. I used to hang out at all the skinny places, hip coffee shops and bars, lounges and clubs. Now I only hang out at Burger King, Walmart, hot air balloon festivals, Cracker Barrel country stores, the Margaritaville gift shop. That's it. That's where you'll find me. Skinny guy hanging out next to the big stuffed parrot at a Margaritaville gift shop. You guys know Margaritaville, right? It's the chain restaurant started by famed musician Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett, if you don't know him, he sings trop rock, which is tropical rock and roll. You know, like wasting away again in Margaritaville. We all know that song. I got something to tell you. I hate Jimmy Buffett. Mostly because Jimmy Buffett sings exclusively about one place, okay? And that place is Key West, Florida. And he makes it sound like paradise. You know, he sings about all the coconuts and parrots and dolphins dancing on the top of waves with mermaids. And have you been to Key West, I ask you? Okay? Because that place is awful. It's hot and sticky. Everyone who lives there is a criminal or something. It's really where a divorced dad turns into an alcoholic pirate. Okay, that's where you go if you need that. I think I'd like Jimmy Buffett's music a little more if he was just like more truthful about Key West in his songs. You know, tunes like "Cheeseburger That's in My Mouth, I Found It in This Garbage Can," or "I Sleep in a Hammock 'Cause I Just Own a Hammock," or "Puke to the left, vomit to the right, and my wife won't let me see my kids." Key West. Okay, moving on. A little about me. When I'm not performing hilarious stand-up comedy, as you just heard, I edit major motion pictures. Thank you so much. I can hear your applause. Thank you so much. No one pays me to. I should say that. I would guess maybe it's illegal. It's a hobby of mine, is what it is. It's a passion. What I like to do is make fan edits of movies that we love, but then like pull out like an entire storyline and like let it hit the cutting room floor. Right now, I'm working on Jurassic Park, and I edited out all of the dinosaurs. There is no dinosaurs in my Jurassic Park. So now it's just like a really adorable movie about a family like on vacation, and for some reason, everyone's arms keep falling off. The next movie I'm working on is Alien. We've all seen Alien. It's great. I'm replacing the alien, the xenomorph, with Danny DeVito. And it's scarier. It really is. Okay. Before we start our show, I do have to brag a little bit. I am the host, so I'm going to take this time. Because I was just thinking the other day about my 5th birthday party. And it was at Pizza Hut. I know, super dope, but it's actually not the brag I was talking about. Okay, so hold on. It's really about what happened at my party. Halfway through my 5th birthday party at Pizza Hut, okay, and this is not a lie. I'm being completely honest with you. Okay, you're my friends. I'm being honest. Halfway through my party, me and my friends are just kicking it, eating some stuffed crust, and Batman showed up, like out of nowhere. Seriously, he showed up to the Middletown Pizza Hut for some reason. I guess, I don't know, it was a Sunday afternoon. He needed some, I don't know, pizza. I don't know why he was there, but he was there. And like me and my friend saw him walk in and we're like trying to play cool. We're like, whoa, that's Batman. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like, should we say something? And we didn't even have to say anything. He like saw us and came over. And here's the craziest thing. He hung out the entire time with all my friends. It was amazing. One of the highlights of my life. I'll never forget it. Never ran into him again. You know, I have hung out at a lot of, you know, Pizza Huts. I haven't seen him, but, you know, whatever. Not the point. The point is that, you know, I'm an adult now. I'm like really into like superhero movies, as we all are. But I've never been able to get back into Batman, you know? I don't know what it is. It's just like, I don't know. You kind of lose respect for a superhero once you find out how kick-ass he is at making balloon animals. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's not that cool. You know, like what? You're going to be late to catching the Joker because you're finishing up painting a dandelion on a 5-year-old's face? Get your priorities straight, Batman! Sorry, little tangent. Anyway, we should start the show. We are going to have a fabulous show for you. Every one of these comedians works so hard on their material. So make sure you put down every other device except for this one and you really kick back and enjoy the hilarious show we have. Folks, our first comedian for the evening. He is so funny. The guy won't be caught dead in a hooded sweatshirt, at least not this summer. Folks, the hilarious Jai Morthy, everybody. Give it up for Jai!
Hi, everyone. It's summer now, but let's talk about my school experience over this past year, starting with Zoom school. I mean, it was okay. You didn't really have to get ready before school, and you could do whatever you wanted with your camera off. But weirdly enough, we all wanted to go back to school. It took me too long to remember that I hated school with a raging passion. You had a minimal amount of excuses left for being late, and you had to actually be on time, one of my main problems. You also have to have encounters with people you don't like, a real world problem that I forgot I had to experience again. Then again, when you get in trouble, It's much more awkward because you actually have to be in front of the teacher. And it's not like you could just say that your Wi-Fi was off and that's why you couldn't finish the conversation. But luckily enough for me, the first 3 days I was early to school, a personal record actually. But I soon became the late kid and pretty quickly at that. What made it even worse was that everyone else came to school early in my class. So even if I was a few minutes late, it was like I was 10 minutes late. It got so bad that they started clapping if I was on time or early. And this really only solidifies the fact that I don't like early kids. They always act so high and mighty about the fact that none of them know the joys of sleeping in. Whenever they brag about waking up at 4 a.m. for no reason, it shocks and confuses me. And their smiles always creep me out because it's their resting faces compared to my resting face, which is basically just me staring at a wall for a class. And it seems so out of place. They also always turn out to be teachers' pets, and I hate teachers' pets. It's like being early makes you look good. To be honest, I'm just waiting for one sleep deprived kid to start going off on the whole class like the ticking time bombs they are. I personally think that being late makes me look mysterious. Sure, my teachers think I'm a lost cause, but I can see the early kids looking at me longingly, which I think completely makes up for being 20 minutes late. Another thing I forgot about school was about some of the girls and their problems with my hair. And I will never understand it because apparently they like a certain school's hair. And let me just tell you, when I walk home, I go right past this school. And it saddens me to say that I have seen way too many kids with mullets in the 2 minutes that I'm walking by. And this offends me personally. They want me to change the hair that I've sported and quite beautifully, if I do say so myself, for the past 7 years. It made me question if something is fundamentally wrong with me. Is the one ever present thing and pillar of stability in my ever changing life wrong? Then again, I have to remember that these are the people who go to the bathroom in packs with weirdly no regard to personal space or privacy. Also, the people who start dancing the second they see someone else dancing and progressively get more hyper. And maybe this is what my teachers meant during our credible sources talk. The girls are the Wikipedia of humans. Now, especially since that COVID has gotten better and a majority of our friends have gotten vaccinated, we've started having people over for dinners or play dates. Or is it just me, or are parents amazing actors? Like mine could be in the movies, they could be stars. Their ability to act like nothing is wrong is unparalleled. They could be screaming at me and getting mad at me 1 minute and defrosting their deeply fake personalities the second the doorbell rings. Jai, you need an attitude change and you need to follow through on your responsibilities. Ding dong. Hi, guys. How's it going? It's been too long. And then cue the fake laughs and my annoyed and confused glaring from behind. But now I've started to plan all my bad behavior around the time someone is going to ring the doorbell. And I'm free to drop major bombs or tiny things I don't really want to get in trouble for. Oh, I spent $100 on some shady website that I'm 70% sure is stealing my information, or I stole Maya's, my sister's diaries, and accidentally put them through the washing machine and then the dryer for good measure. I mean, my parents always said that if you're gonna do something, you have to see it through. And I did this after carefully making sure not to memorize anything pertaining to boogers or childhood crushes. Side note, Jaden and Massimo may have caught in quite a few 4-year-old hearts. And they will always have something to say because my family's really judgy. But the doorbell, as I said before, is for my parents to defrost their fake personalities and their painstakingly annoying laughs. But I think it's also one of my biggest weapons. Thank you for listening.
Folks, give it up for Jai. Letting those parents have it. That's how we like it here at the old Kids in Comedy. One more time for Jai, everybody. We are going to keep our show rolling. Your next comedian is coming straight from Rhode Island. Folks, it's Oscar Steinhardt. Give Oscar a round of applause.
Thank you. Yeah, the other day, basically, all of my nightmares came true. Like, if you can imagine all of the horrible things that like could happen to a person, like this is worse. Like breaking a bone, maybe. No, this is worse. being called names. It's got nothing on this. Okay? Your house burning down? Not even a chance. Right? Frankly, no one can even begin to imagine my pain. Okay? That's because my friends, they recently made a group chat without me. And I only found out because they accidentally added me to it. Like the first message they sent after I joined was, "Oh no, it's him." Like, what do they even mean? I'm the most fun guy around, okay? Who wouldn't want me in there? I don't see anyone else illuminating the room with hilarious minion memes. Like, how am I supposed to know if they don't like them? From my end, it just seems like they were laughing so hard they couldn't even respond. And like, if they didn't like it when I corrected their grammar, they should have said something else other than, "Wow, thanks a lot." Because I just thought they really appreciated it, you know? It was just so out of like left field because you never expect the friends who come to all your sock puppet shows, the ones who, listen to you explain chess openings for 2 hours, the ones who always jam to the Dead Kennedys songs that I send in the group chat every day. You never expect those people to leave you. And like, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that guy around? If that was me, I'd want me around all the time. I mean, like, wouldn't you? Like, okay, experiment, right? If you think that sounds great and you want to talk to me all the time, just text the number that I'm about to say. "I love you, Oscar." If you think I would be fun, just text 908-838-8513. "I love you, Oscar." Uh, I would appreciate it. Very lonely, but regardless, life, it's just not fair. And I'm painfully aware of that, not just because of my friends, but, well, imagine you're a rich person and you walk down the street in New York City and you see a corner shop that sells a slice of pizza for $1. You just walk right past it. Like, never for a minute do you stop to consider that, man, this is like a whole meal for $1. Like, that's great value. No, no, rich people don't care about value. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. They would rather go to a place that's got like an $800 pizza made by some like 4th-century old Italian dude whose family's been making pizza for the last 10 generations, like since the dinosaurs were around or something. Like, how could a pizza even be $800? Like, what is wrong with these people? Jesus himself had to have come down from heaven to bleed in the sauce to make it worth that much. But like, even then, what's the big deal? The guy Josh who makes all my pizzas, he bleeds in them all the time. There's no premium for that. It's still just $1. And yeah, with that, thank you. I have to go calm down. Feeling a lot of things right now.
Give it up for Oscar, everybody. He's losing it. Let him calm down, okay? It's very important that he calms down. By the way, Josh is my guy. Give it up for Pizza Guy Josh. Love Josh. He is the godfather to all 14 of my children. Makes great pizza. Folks, we have so much hilarious show left for you. Let's just keep the funny train a-rolling. Our next comedian is a mainstay over here in the Kids in Comedy stage. Give it up for the hilarious Emmett Pesca. Keep it going for Emmett.
Hello. Cursive sucks. I hate cursive. Whenever your grandparents or just your parents is trying to explain how to do cursive, they're always like, "Don't pick up your pen. It saves so much labor. Really, doing this, that's too labor intensive for you, Grandma. Doing that is too much." Question, how do you write a T or an I? That's right, you pick up your pen. That's the one thing that you're not supposed to do. And what about M's and N's? They don't need another bump. They're perfect the way they are. Why are you giving them another bump? They don't need that. And then you have your S's, which is a backwards D that's been bonked on the head by a baseball bat. And the only, really, if your business is failing and everything's going downhill, your last resort is to change all the letters of your company name into cursive. That's really the only point of cursive, to class up business products. Like I passed Wendy's, that was in cursive. It's Wendy's, fresh, never frozen meat. Let me tell you, by the end of this, you're gonna wish it was properly frozen. Then you have Campbell's soup. Soup. It's soup. Their expression is, eat only the good stuff. I think that this slogan was only made for the people that ate the cans. They could have said, don't eat the cans, or I see you having that can in your mouth. Don't eat the metallic part. Eat the gooey red inside in the can. But why are you trying to make? But why are you trying to make the product look so fancy for these idiots? And then you have Gristedes, which their slogan is, don't ask how our meat is only 15 cents per pound. Another slogan of theirs is, we have the world's smallest aisles. And the next one is, don't ask what happened in self-checkout yesterday. You know what Gristedes sells? They sell rutabagas. And I've recently been down a rutabaga rabbit hole recently. And I was scrolling through my videos, and one of them said, rutabagas, next big thing, as the title. So I clicked it, and this woman introduces herself and says, rutabagas are the next big thing. So let me show you how to make this rice. It's really easy, you know? You take a strong rutabaga, really easy. Anyways, rutabagas, next big thing. Let's just list some of the big things that happened in the last year. We have COVID-19, the election, defund the police, rutabagas. In the history books, they will say 2021, year of change, determination, and a vegetable that's a mix between a cabbage and a radish. And then, like, she's listing some other ingredients that you want to put into the rice. Like, you put some water, and then you could put some potatoes, chopped up onion, carrot, some maple syrup on it. There's just good mustard, maybe a few scoops of ice cream, melted candy bar, some gummy bears, some sour straw elements, a year's worth of cane sugar, a pint of lemonade on the side, some brownie bites and cupcake toppings on top. You know what else tastes that good when you put those things on? A clump of dirt. But I don't see a clump of dirt. A clump of dirt tastes that good when you put all that stuff on there. But I don't see the history book saying 2021, year of change, determination, and clumps of dirt, do I? Thank you. You've been adequate.
Not pulling any punches. We have been adequate. Give it up for Emmett, everybody. The man is taking rutabagas to task. I was muted. Folks, give it up for Emmett, everybody. Taking rutabagas to task. Absolutely love it. We have a couple more comedians for you, so I hope you're not tired yet. Make sure you're brewing that espresso. If you have an espresso machine, ooh, flexing on us. I get it. Our next comedian is a very measured man, but I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of opinions and he wants to make a lot of changes, okay? Those changes are absolutely hilarious. Give it up for Ethan Panellis, everybody. Keep it going for Ethan.
Flamethrower is not a good weapon for home defense. I talked to my friend and I said, so many animals have no purpose. And he said, all animals have a purpose. That's so stupid. Seahorses have no purpose. He said, that's not true. The male seahorse gives birth. I don't know if he's stupid or I am, but that's not a purpose. That's just something that happens. Seahorses just kind of exist. I've been alive for 15 years. I have never seen a seahorse. If someone told me they've been extinct for decades, I'd believe them. That's how little purpose they have. I said to my friend, how about mountain goats? Mountain goats have no purpose. They said, yes, they do. They sit stokely on mountains, and they look cool. That's not a purpose either. Mountain goats are just regular goats that escape society. A group of random goats were just like, we could run away to the mountains. We'll grow big, weird, curly horns and sit quietly while people paint and photograph us. And then I said to my friend, what about sloths? Sloths do literally nothing. He said, sloths do have a purpose. They're a good example of how to live a good life. Sloths do absolutely nothing. They live in a tree, they eat in the tree, they go to the bathroom in the tree, they barely leave it. I mean, they do have the optimal life. On the topic of sloths, I hate the saying one man's trash is another man's treasure. I've never been going through someone's trash and found gold bars. I've been going through someone's trash and found gold paint, but gold bars are a little far. It's also only ever said when someone's trying to make you feel better about garbage you just paid for because you like it. Also, nobody throws away treasure. If I own treasure, it's staying as safe as possible. I'm not going to accidentally throw out the Constitution. And if someone's rummaging through my garbage and they find treasure, they better check with me before they keep it because it's mine until the garbage truck turns it into a block of garbage. I've never gone through garbage and been like, what does this old piece of paper say? 7 years ago. Why wouldn't they just say 87? I can't keep this with all these typos. These people keep saying nor and thou. Fine, I'll put it back where I found it. The other day I was thinking, why are certain meals associated with certain foods? For breakfast, you eat cereal or eggs, but never both. For lunch, you have a sandwich, at most some steak, maybe a salad. For dinner, the sky's the limit. You can have fish, steak, brisket. You can't have brisket for breakfast, and you can't have cereal for dinner. If you eat a 12-ounce steak, 3 eggs, and a chocolate cake at the beginning of the day, what meal is it? Diabetes? I don't know. If you don't eat anything until 6 p.m., are you eating breakfast? You're breaking the fast. If you don't eat anything from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. and you eat pancakes, are you eating lunch? And there is no word for eating over your kitchen sink in a bathrobe at 3 a.m. Too late for dinner, but too early for breakfast. I think someone should name that kind of eating. I have a suggestion for the meal namers of society. I think it should be called despair. Then there are things like brunch, words we've convinced ourselves make sense but have no meaning. Why is brunch between lunch and breakfast? They totally could have had a snack and went to lunch an hour later. Snacks don't make that much sense either. Why are they called snacks? Breakfast is called breakfast because you're breaking a fast. Brunch is brunch because it's lunch and breakfast. But snacks have no meaning. It's all decided by your own rules. If you want to have a salad and call it a snack, okay. If you want to make a smoothie, you can call that a snack. Even a sleeve of Oreos. And then some people have a cracker and call that a snack. Why do we as a society keep coming up with with words for things that never needed a word before? A snack is a snack-sized word. I think a snack should just be called a between-the-meal meal. Now that I have your attention, there's a word for the meal between lunch and breakfast, brunch. There's a word for between lunch and dinner. Why not breakfast and dinner? Nobody thought of that. I think it should be called dinner fast. I think I just invented lunch. Well, I'm going to go contemplate life. Bye.
Goodbye. Give it up for Ethan, everybody. Ethan Panellis. He's letting us know a little bit about him, okay? And that is he doesn't like labels unless he creates them, and he invented lunch. Those are the 3 things you need to know about Ethan. Okay, that's it. He's a simple man. One more time for Ethan, everybody. A couple more comedians. Our next comedian is absolutely hilarious. A mainstay here. I've seen him on the virtual stage many, many times. And this time isn't going to be any less than the others. He's hilarious. Give it up for Jack Shuela, everybody. Keep it going for Jack.
Hey, it's me, Big Boy Jack. I recently got a haircut. Could you tell? Don't worry, I know you can't. Most people think I cut my own hair. But I promise I don't do it too often. Anyway, my haircut was nice. I thought the barber was doing a great job until he started talking about all the other things that he does instead of cutting hair. And usually that builds a little character, but not this time. Now apparently this guy is not only a barber, but a gymnast. He was gonna teach yoga on a private jet. He did chakras, everything that a normal person does all the time. And it really started to sound like that the last thing on this guy's list was cutting hair. It's just kind of weird because usually you'd expect the guy to say, "Hey, how are you doing at school? Okay, you are done. Goodbye." And that's it. But this guy kind of just told me about how much of a free spirit he is and all. And, I have no real problem with being a free spirit, but it's just less than ideal for someone to be a free spirit with my hair. I mean, just two things that you can't be a free spirit with when you're doing a job. One being a surgeon and the other cutting my hair. Actually, just any job in general that you have my entire life in your hands, don't be a free spirit. At one point, he said, "Oh, I can't wait until I don't have to cut this hair anymore." Like, why would you say that when you're cutting my hair? You don't say that. Just in general, I think. Another weird thing I noticed, he didn't have a mirror. If you're a barber and you don't have a mirror, then you're hiding something. And guess what? Whoop-de-doo. It turned out pretty bad. I mean, I kind of got a dead person's haircut. It hasn't changed. It's kind of scary, actually. I think I have like a disease in my hair or something like that. But, at least now I can tell people that my hair was cut by a man that taught yoga on a plane or something. Next time, I'm going to a hairstylist that only cuts hair. Also, wouldn't want to go skydiving with this guy. He'd probably be doing a Zoom yoga class while he plummets to Earth. Okay, stretch your arms. Now I have to brace for impact while I fall into the Earth. But what does that guy care about? I'm pretty sure he had to go shoot the next 100th Fast and Furious movie and then go teach yoga on a plane. Anyway, on a completely different note for some reason, I was coming home from school one day with my dead guy haircut, and I was ready to totally do my homework and not procrastinate for 3 hours doing nothing. I couldn't wait. You know what? I was so excited to do this that when I got to my elevator, I wasn't really paying attention. And I kind of hit the fourth button instead of the second. And you might think that's kind of weird. And it is, because the elevator, there's no fourth button in it. There's a compartment that has a button inside of it that has a sticky note on it that says "Do not press." The button under it has mold growing on it, and it's pretty scary. If you couldn't tell already, the fourth floor is scary. It's falling apart, and it's old. No, I mean, there's a hole in the wall that goes to the bad part of Narnia or something. That's just what the old guy tells me up there. It's been there for 100 years, I've been told, and it looks like it too. But the building has only been there for 50. I think Jeffrey Dahmer slept there for a night. I live in an apartment building. You can't sleep in an apartment building in New York for a night. Johnny from The Shining slept there. There's a guy that can sell you rainbow-colored rats, bald zebras, and a key to his apartment. I don't think that's for sale. He just shows it off because only a select few can live in the fourth floor. Scientists called it a medical anomaly. It's very weird. Only a few scientists called it a medical anomaly. The rest just refused to talk about it. That's what I'm told. A bunch of Boy Scouts went in there, and they became a part of it. Also, in the floor plan, there is no fourth floor. When you get to the fourth floor, it's an always changing maze. It smells like fear. You can taste words and smell colors. You can see sounds, and there are 100 water fountains there, but they're always out of water, no matter what. And they all look like they're full because they have water on them. And I'm pretty sure I got a parasite that whispers tongues in my left ear at 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. exactly. And it stayed there for a while after I got out of the fourth floor. But I'm pretty sure it's gone now. Sorry, heard something. Anyway, I got out. Don't ask me how, because I blacked out and I woke up at my doorstep. And that totally happened, and I didn't just say that because I'm lazy and I didn't want to make something funny. But when I got back to my apartment and explained to my mom that I just went through hell for like some time, she was confused because there was no fourth floor. Anyway, you've been a great crowd. This all happened. Thank you for listening to me.
Give it up for Jack. That all happened, okay? And we know this because he said so, all right? I'm not going to argue with him. You can't argue with the man. Keep it going for Jack Shuel, everybody. Hilarious. One more time. Folks, we have 2 more performances left. Our next is our final performer from our graduating class, and then we have a special guest, so stick around for that. Our next comedian is another mainstay here. I remember him in real life tearing up the Gotham Comedy Club stage, but now he's tearing up the virtual stages all over the internet. Give it up for the hilarious Trent Ford, everybody. It's Trent.
It's hard to kick the chair out of the way and still have it disappear. My elementary school did science fairs from 3rd to 5th grade, and it's amazing what passes as science in elementary school. In 5th grade, I did catapults. I wanted to find out the angle at which a ping pong ball could hit a teacher's eyeball if the teacher was standing 5 feet away. The answer was at an 125-degree angle. The ping pong ball hits the eye, and we no longer have science class for the day. In 3rd grade, I did a different project. In 3rd grade, I did my science fair project on how teeth react in sodas like Coke, Coke Zero, and Diet Coke. I only did the project because I thought, hey, if there's leftover Coke, maybe I can drink it. Now I know what you're asking. How does a 3rd grader, a 10-year-old 3rd grader, get his hands on teeth for a science fair project? Simple. Ask your mom to call her dentist friend. That's what I did, and I have to admit, that must have been a really weird phone call. Hey, buddy, could you do us a favor? Yeah, this won't be a joke. I need some teeth for my kid's science fair project. What do you mean he can't give you patient's teeth? What do you do with all the teeth you pull? I don't care what type of teeth. Okay, fine. Just don't tell my kid that you gave him 1,000 baby teeth for a science fair project. The day of the science fair was weird too. It's hard being a 10-year-old and explaining to your science teacher why you have extra teeth lying around and why you decided to put it in cherry Coke. Hey teacher, for a science fair project, we put teeth in soda. What did you learn? Clearly nothing, because I'm still drinking soda. I spilled a little. I'll clean that up later. Speaking of unhealthiness, there is this ad for French fries that says, if you can't get your kids to eat vegetables, pay them with French fries. I like this idea, but it has a problem. My sister doesn't eat vegetables, doesn't like French fries. It seems like the ad should have accounted for that. If you can't get your kids to eat vegetables, pay them with French fries. And if that doesn't work, they don't eat for the night. It also seems a little condescending that this French fry company is telling you how to handle your kid. They wouldn't like it if parents published an ad telling their executives how to run their company. However, I do like this ad. I do like this idea of parents listening to ads, especially when it comes to food. Like, it would be cool if McDonald's did an ad where it said, whether eating a Big Mac with your kids in one of our fine restaurants or eating a McRib with your kids at home, remember to tell your kids, don't put the fork in the toaster. We learned about what microaggressions are in school. The school told us that a microaggression is like a paper cut. Getting one isn't bad, but constantly getting them is worse. I have news for you, folks. If you are constantly getting paper cuts, maybe it's time to consider a career change. Maybe you want to quit working at Dunder Mifflin and get a job coding, or at the very least, do something less with paper. I agree microaggressions are bad, but really, paper cuts, it's kind of specific. They might have well said a microaggression is like getting flicked. Getting flicked you can move on from. However, constantly receiving microaggressions is like getting beat up, while your parents list all the times you've disappointed them, while hungry wolves rip apart your toes from your feet, while some psycho clown tapes your mouth shut, and all the while your classmates are laughing at you. I want to see them teach that in school. Hello, students. Today we're going to talk about microaggressions. A microaggression is an indirect way of hurting someone's feelings. Like if I told Jimmy, wow, you're pretty smart. This implies that I thought Jimmy was dumb. One microaggression is like a flick. Everyone, flick the person next to you. Gosh darn it, Jimmy, don't flick Stacy's eye. Jimmy, go to the principal. Stacy, go to the nurse. Now, constantly getting microaggressions are a lot worse. I need a volunteer. Okay, Herbert, get on up here. Sit on the floor in front of the class, Herbert. Everyone, give a hand to Herbert. A lot of microaggressions are like getting beat up, which is why Jason, my bouncer buddy, will come, beat you up. While this is happening, your parents, whom I've invited, read out a list of all your shortcomings. Want to start, Mr. and Mrs. Smith? You don't do the dishes. You don't do the laundry. And while they're doing that, rabid wolves from the zoo will rip apart your feet and toes. Want to let them out of their cages, Chad? And you know what we're going to add now, class? We're now going to add my clown buddy, Mr. Bungo, who will tape Herbert's mouth shut so he can't scream. And all while this is happening, I need you, class, to laugh at Herbert. Come on, class, laugh at Herbert. Look at those wolves go. This, class, is why we don't use microaggression. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Trent. But most of all, keep it going for Mr. Bungo. All right, not Mr. Bongo. It's Mr. Bungo. And for some reason, that makes it 10 times creepier. One more time for Trent Ford. Love it. I love a good catapult experiment, and I love drinking soda. So that is a grade A+ set for me. Folks, that has been all your graduates. But before the show is over, we have one special guest set. It is not just I who help these kids along throughout the session. We always have an intern that is somebody who has come through the program or is even in the program, but there for a long time. Our intern for this session has been with us for years and years and years. He's actually going to college next year. And when I met him, he was just a little stinker. Folks, give it up for the hilarious Sam Littman, everybody. It's Teen Turn Sam.
Hi, guys. I'm Teen Intern Sam. It's been really great helping your kids. They're all real groovy cats. But enough about them. Let's talk about me. So I'm a senior in high school, although I guess now I'm more of a senior in my mom's basement. And I'm usually a very obedient person. But everyone expects teenagers to be rebellious and independent and wear pants outside. So I've decided to cave to this peer pressure and rebel against my mom. Now, my mom hates Anne Hathaway with every fiber of her being. So to ruffle her mittens, I bought a hat that says #1 Hathawayan on it, which means a member of the Hathaway fan club, OBS. And I wore it around the house. But when my mom saw it, she just said, I may disagree with your choices, but I respect them. And I respect you, son. I was furious. Instead of grounding me and giving me the rebel street cred that I need, she's respecting me. I knew then that I had to take things up a half a notch. So that night, I nailed a bunch of posters of Queen Anne around the house. But when my mom woke up, she seemed much more concerned about the destroyed walls and why did you try to nail them to the windows? What is wrong with you? But she still wouldn't punish me. So I realized I had to go big or go half a home. I bribed Anne Hathaway herself with $10 to have dinner with my family. It's the best gig she's had in years. Yeah, I'm a job creator. Anne spent the whole dinner talking about her role in Les Miserables and how she wept watching her own performance. But I saw my mom smile and agree with her. Over the course of the night, Anne Hathaway and my mom became friends, and I didn't even get my phone taken away. I may have lost this battle, but I will win the war. Guess who's coming to dinner tomorrow night? Gwyneth Paltrow. So anyway, I've been meaning to do a sport for a while now and work off these love handles, And I chose to do track. It was not at all what I was expecting. Like we did exercises and stretches and whatever, but when we actually ran, we just ran around in a big circle called a track. Like we never once sprinted to the donut shop or jogged to a pizzeria. Like seriously, what's the point of running if there's no light at the end of the tunnel? There's no frosting at the end of the cannoli. You might as well just jog in place. So anyway, I decided to take my complaints to the manager. Sorry, I mean the coach. I came into his office during lunch and I said, "Listen, sir, I'm sure it's not your fault that the track program here is so awful and pointless, but I do have some suggestions for improving it. We could do a relay race down to the bakery. We could pole vault to a delicatessen, all sorts of things. But let me tell you, that guy does not take constructive criticism well. So I quit. That was something he did take well, though. So, as you guys have already learned, I don't know the first thing about sports, but I do know all those sports ballers who's always claiming that their favorite sports ball game is rigged. They're all wrong. There's only one game that is truly rigged, the Sexiest Man Alive contest. Think about it. Adam Levine and Mel Gibson both won. And sure, Adam is fine looking and Mel's decent for a racist old creep. But Sexiest Man Alive, I think the real giveaway is that Blake Shelton won. Blake Shelton. He looks like the human version of a saltine cracker dipped in water. His facial hair looks like a stray cat's hairball. If Blake was alone in a room, he wouldn't even be the sexiest man alive in that room. Listen, I'm sure some people find Blake attractive, but I'm not one of them. And one day, People magazine and its monopoly on hot boys will end. And who will arise from the ashes like an avenging phoenix? I will, because I'm creating my own magazine with its own Sexiest Man Alive contest. My magazine will be called Person Magazine. And the only man featured as its sexiest man alive will be the one who has been robbed of his crown year after year, ignored while other, lesser specimens of mouth-watering male beauty took his rightful place. The only man featured in my magazine will be the true sex man alive, now and forever. Patton Oswalt. Thank you guys for coming. It's been a great show.
Yes. Keep it going for Sam. Sam Littman, everybody. Helping your kids out the entire session. Folks, that has been our graduation show. And let me be the first to say it was fantastic. So first, I want to say thank you to all of these kids who came to class every single week, worked really, really hard on their material, even though they have so many other things going on in their lives. But they took the time out to work hard, and you got to see the benefits of that just now. Give it up for them. I want to say thank you to our intern, Sam. He helped us out all session, giving notes to the kids, all of that good stuff. And it's not just us who help teach these kids a little bit about stand-up comedy. We also have a fantastic assistant teacher. She's also communicating with all of the parents all the time, doing all the hard work. It's the wonderful Emma Jane Gonzalez. Give it up for Emma. Can't do this without Emma at all. And I also want to say thank you to Joanne and Stu. They are the directors of the program. They've been putting this thing on for about 20 years at this point. So I want to say thank you. They are at home watching this show. I'm sure they're very, very proud. And I want to say thank you to Matt, our tech guy. He's our director for each and every stream that we do. Without him, we wouldn't be able to come to you, find people here on the internet. So, folks, thank you so much for being here, sticking around and enjoying the show. My name is Nick, and we are going to wave awkwardly until the stream is done. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Keep waving. You gotta keep waving.